with you. I can be sad with you.
Hey everybody, we finally got a seat, and let me tell you, it took us a long time to get my pumpkin spice latte. Oh my God. We had to wait for a good 15 minutes in line just to get this bad boy. And I hope you guys don't have the same issues in lines to get this bad boy like we did. But you know what? I hear it's well worth it. A lot going on. You know, I see my wife, she looks like she's really thirsty, so I'm gonna give her this, let her have the first drink first. Here you go, sweetie. So, yeah, just to let you guys know that the date is okay. As my wife continues to drink this, I'm going to talk to you guys about a topic which has been asked to me by John Copland. He asked me for my reflection on the assassination of Prime Minister Abe. So I'm just going to point out that just in a couple days' time from now, they will have the funeral for him. It will cost the taxpayers of Japan 1.6 billion yen, or which is equivalent to about 12 million US dollars currently, which is quite a lot of money. But we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. I want to talk first about my reaction. My first reaction to hearing of the assassination of the former Prime Minister is this. I prayed to God it was not a foreigner. And I actually have a Facebook Live video where I actually will put this at the end of the video, where I actually state that. I really, first and foremost, my reaction was, I really hope it wasn't a foreigner, because it would have set off a unprecedented, aggressive move by the lawmakers of Japan against all foreigners in Japan. You can quote me on that, you can fact check me on that, but again, that is my first reaction. Now, the assassination also implies that the news agencies didn't really call it an assassination within the first 24 hours. Within the first 8 hours, they would just say in the news that he had no heartbeat. There was no heartbeat. All right, so some people were asking about how safe Japan is, and of course Japan still remains one of the most safest countries in the known world, though it does have a lot of violence that goes underreported and unreported. There's a lot of abuse that happens both in the workplace and in the homes that of course are not documented and are not publicly announced, which really does hurt the census of getting clear, effective data. But that is, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, you can prove me wrong, you can fact check me, I don't care. But going forward, looking at this, looking at the known cult, they call it a church, they call it a cult. Both of these, the people have very strong opinions on this. There's like 86% of the lawmakers in Japan who have been affiliated with this cult or this church. As a foreigner living in Japan, as an American living in Japan at this time, I really have no rights to express or pass judgment on this so-called church. Though it is said that this church, the church's founder, is from Korea, which that itself causes some issues down the line as well. But those political issues, those are for top-tier people, not bottom feeders like myself to discuss or talk about. But how it has affected me and many people like me living in Japan as a foreigner, I talked about safety. I don't feel as safe as there's more opportunity to be directed towards the foreigner, especially because of all the crises going on here in Japan. They have the fuel crisis, the food crisis, the employment crisis. Anything else? Yeah, there's a wide range of crises going on. There's the releasing of the Fukushima nuclear water into the oceans. That's also a crisis that goes under recognized. It's recognized, but it's not. There's nothing that can be done to stop it. Just like the funeral being a state-funded issue, it will and cannot be stopped, no matter how much people complain about it or resist. That's just how it is. There's a saying that they say in Japan, "This is Japan," and that usually shuts down any argument. So, yeah, this is Japan. So, another question which was asked was, what do you feel about the assassin? And like many people, I was shocked to hear that there was someone who was able to get so close to a former prime minister and execute them in such a way using a homemade device. It was a gun that they, of course, made online, and I was shocked to hear it. In the days and weeks that have followed, we all get the same information or a blurred version of what we were given. But from the people which I talk to almost on a daily basis, we here in Japan, we look at the possibilities and concerns of mental health and how that word is being used to underline abuse, the mental abuse. Now I want to talk about what the reasons were why the assassin did what he did. I'm not going to say the person's name, I'm just going to call them their assassin. As we all know that there was information out there about he did it because his mother was being robbed. Their money was being taken away from them. So I know how that feels as a foreigner living in Japan. I know that the theft of money is something that we all hold very tightly to, especially with money being so valuable and so important in today's society. But the rejection of his mental health pushed him to the point where he had to act. And I am not supporting the individual's decisions, but I do and can see other people in Japan, their age, attempting to do the same thing in the near and far future. There are people who are being denied mental health access. They're being denied justice for actions that are clearly abusive. There are people who are under the table and thrown under the bus because of what they see as unjust actions, and they try to seek out justice, but justice does not protect them. There are, and there is, more people in Japan that can see this individual's action as being the last resort. And because he did this, there are going to be more people that do this not as a last action, not as a last resort. They're going to do it because they are going to be considered the Robin Hoods of the future. I don't know who they're going to target. They're all, of course, are going to be targeting the wealthy, the powerful, the lawmakers, the people of great privilege. And I'm not talking as a foreigner. I'm talking that there are people in Japan who are under the boot, who don't get the support that they need for mental health crisis. And again, they don't get the law to support them as well. So when an assassin such as this does it, and yet mental health is used as a defense, was his actions really a mental health issue? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you have to say. On to the next question. And, I have my wife right here drinking that latte. She's not finished with it, so I get to go on and ask a couple other questions. So, are you finished? No? Or is she gonna let me have a drink? This thing is nearly empty. Wow. So, oh my God, that's really good. That is really good. That is tasty. You want it back? Okay. So thank John Copland. I think it's Copland. If I spelled your name wrong, I apologize. If I mispronounced your name, I also apologize for that too. But it gives me an opportunity to talk with you guys about how I feel about a current situation. Now, there's actually a lot more crises going on in Japan that the news, what is it called when you add sugar to something? Sugar coating, yeah. There's a lot of sugar coating going on. There's a lot more things going on here in Japan. And there's a lot of things that are coming down the pipe that I'm aware of, but I can't share with you because of the, the systematic issues that come with knowledge, right? You know something, either you know something about summer, you know something that's going to happen, but you can't say it because if you do, you're going to get sued. Yeah, I'm in that situation where I can't tell you the truth as the truth is. I can't even suggest it to you. I mean, I could get censored for even just saying this. That's up to my wife to see if this even gets made at all. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on here in Japan. I'd love to give you my opinion most of all, and you know, I enjoy being in Japan. There is some areas of safety of which I am definitely concerned about as a foreigner, and you know, money is extremely tight, and one of which I would actually ask my Congress to start looking into checking to see if our citizens in Japan are safe, secure, and not in a position where they will be abused by their employers or in any other situation. I think that it's that time in our collective history that American citizens living in Japan should be looked at and protected, as we are a minority class, as well as a class that is less than 1% the total percent of foreigners living in Japan. And the majority of us living in Japan are actually in the English education industry. So that stuff we'll be looking at into the future. Again, Shinzo Abe's assassination, it hits everyone, and it's still ongoing. The issues in particular that I will say at this moment, of which I've been talking with others about, is the reasons why he was campaigning, even though recently he had health issues. That's why he stepped away from being a prime minister. He also, there was some talk within some circles of the Japanese society that was concerned that Abe would return to politics, earn a new term as prime minister within the next 6 months if he had lived, and possibly even jeopardize the alliance between the U.S. and Japan. Let me know if you believe that last statement is true or false in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Your holiday seasonal latte, because I know it's completely empty. All right, just like I'm empty. All right, guys, I have nothing more to say. I'll see you guys later. If you guys like this video and like how I talk, please let me know in the comments below. But thanks a lot. Appreciate it. See you later. Bye.
With you, I wanna stay with you. I wanna stay with you. I wanna stay with you.
Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Today is a live video, and coverage right now here in Japan is of the assassination of Shinzo Abe. Now, it is important that we look at this from a broader perspective, not only on gun control and gun violence, but also organized crime and true safety. Now, I know I'm not the one to talk about it because, hey, you know, you're smarter than I am. Let that think in for a second, okay? How smart you are compared to me, right? Okay. So, anyways, think about that, watch that, hug your kids, but just know a prime minister, former prime minister of Japan, was assassinated with a gun. There you go. And I have a very nice man next to me who will remain anonymous at the moment, but hey, you know what? I got a bento box. So, what a good way to talk about someone dying and having a nice lunch. Now, of course, the political outcome of the next couple weeks will determine a huge change in Japanese policies. Let's hope that the individual who did pull the trigger is not a foreign national, or that would be the biggest problem. Now today for lunch, I'm going to highlight my wife's beautiful food and hope that it doesn't break. Now, Daryl, take a look at this. We have a nice, beautiful flower that's going to go to my son. And we're going to have a nice tie-dye activity for him. I'm not going to eat the flower, but it's an actually delicious flower. Oh no, are you okay? Oh no, you're going to have to get that. I'm so sorry. Oh, she runs the other way. Well, that's okay. So anyways, today on the menu we have cucumber, we have asparagus, we have an interrupting bell that tells me what day of the week it is, right? We have a beautiful jalapeno pepper, which I will not be eating because it is hot and I just don't want to do it. But I'm all about cold food today. So I'm going to hand that back over to you, Mr. Giggles. So, America. So look at the healthy food, healthy, what I'm eating today. Yeah, so we got these nice fresh cucumbers from the garden. Not our garden, our in-laws' garden. We have asparagus from the garden. Yeah. And, of course, well, what I really like is actually what I haven't shown you yet, is what my wife made last night. So she made a really nice tomato and chicken salad. What's this called? Do you know, Daryl? What's that?
Korokke.
Karaoke. Karaoke?
Korokke. Korokke.
I swear to God I hear you say karaoke.
No, karaoke.
You know I'm only joking. So this here is a very nice addition to my bento lunch. Now, if you guys are wondering what's going on, one of Japan's leading professors of life, actually, professor, prime minister of life, gunned down in his prime. And let's hope again that we, as a nation here in Japan, are very smart in the next 48 hours. But I'll tell you what, my food, chicken, yeah, my wife makes everything for me. I wish I could make as good as she has. Literally a 5-course meal set up for me. My wife works harder than any person I've ever met. Right? I mean, I work, right? But I don't work as hard. I work smart. I just don't work hard. She's a very talented person. We're trying to get her a bakery. We need the funds to open up a nice bakery. But I'll tell you what, regardless of what we do with the bakery, we'll let you guys know later. Hey, I want to ask you guys a question, and this is actually a good question for everybody. It's actually about manners. Like, in Japan, we're all about manners, right?